Hello everyone. This is the first Thunderlara V-News for some time, but I thought it was a good time to try and explain to shareholders a little more about what we are doing with our exploration at Red Boar and why we are taking the approach that we are taking. There have been comments made that we are not drilling on a wide enough spacing, and it is important to try and explain to everybody why we are doing things the way we are. The basis for what we're doing is the magnetic image around Red Boar, and that is the main image that I'm showing you now. And what I will then move to in a second is the blow up of that, so that I can point out in a bit more detail exactly what you're doing. On that image you'll see that there's two main areas. There's one called Impaler and one called Gossan, which is the old Red Boar prospect. What I'm showing here is the blow up of that. And as you can see, Gossan is at your right as you're looking at it, and Impaler is the new discovery at the left. At Gossan, that big round red dot, we have found two pipes that are a combination of magnetite and chalcopyrite, which is copper mineralization. These are important because these magnetic signatures that we found help us to explore for new anomalies and new mineralization, and that's how we found Impaler. What I'm now going to show you is what we think is actually happening beneath these red dots, particularly the one at Gossan. This magnificent assisting tool here is what I've managed to find as a way of showing what is actually happening with the pipes that we've discovered at Gossan and Impaler. The reason why the Impaler dot is less intense than the Gossan dot is because we believe it may be at deeper. It's not at surface, it's at depth. This is shown by these pipes are like this. The two pipes at Gossan are the ones touching the image, and the one nearest to me is Impaler, which is beneath the surface, so it's not right at surface, so it's a more discrete image. Now it's important to recognize that what we have are a series of pipes like this. They're narrow, they're small, but they're high grade, 28% copper. People have asked why we don't just drill on a wide spacing in order to pursue the depth of mineralization at depth. If this were a drill hole, and it's much, much wider than it would be at this scale, and you were pursuing this mineralization, if I just stick a hole like this, most of the times this drill hole will miss the mineralization. In other words, if you've found mineralization here, you have to keep really, really close in order to be able to intersect it each time. And as you're following it, it suddenly changes direction. So you've got to keep tight, you've got to be close in order to ensure that you don't lose this mineralization. The important thing about this is that as we find these different pipes, they will coalesce at depth, and they will help lead us, if we follow them closely, towards what we believe is the mineralization at source, or the source at depth, which is going to be, hopefully, a major body of mineralization. And the way of pointing this out is like saying that as you follow this big branch getting closer and closer to the source at depth, what you will find is that this is a pipe that's come out of a much, much larger body of mineralization, and that is the target we're after. That is what will make all the difference to your share price, our share price, your shareholding, and our value collectively. It is also the potential source for the mineralization that we're seeing at Degussa as well, nearby. Interestingly, Sandfire, who had that discovery at Degussa a few years ago and have done such a fantastic job at getting it up and running so quickly, are now alluding in their exploration results to further work to try and identify feeder zones around their deposits. These are the feeder zones that we're talking about. The exploration that we have happening at Red Boar and Carrara Well is really significant for Thunderlara shareholders. We are really excited about what it can deliver, and we hope that we'll have a very, very exciting year on the back of these results. Thank you.